All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Makar Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. In this lesson, I'm going to be talking about how all the things that people are arrogant about now, they're not going to mean nothing when all hell breaks loose. Right? Everything that people are rejoicing about themselves now, that makes them feel like they're special, none of that stuff is going to matter in the day of the Lord's judgment. I'm going to go into the scriptures. Jeremiah chapter 9 and verse 23. Thus saith Yahweh, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might. Let not the rich man glory in his riches, but let him that glorieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me, that I am Yahweh, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, saith Yahweh. So what does that mean? It means that money, although it has a use, and riches, and although they have a use, and being mighty, although it has a use, that those things are not what you're supposed to be glorying in, man. Whereas a lot of people in this world, they glory in those, and the main one that I've seen that people glory in is riches. Because if you've got money in this world, even if you've got it from being a stupid idiot, you might have became a millionaire by doing pranks where you lift one leg up and squeeze a fart machine, and that makes it sound like you're farting. And you just do that in public and you become a millionaire off that. But people will be like, yeah, you're saying he's an idiot, but he's rich though. He's got money though. They all act like you're wise when you got your riches from something stupid, right? Or some harlot that got rich from showing us her body off on the internet, and she's trying to make out like she's some kind of business tycoon. No, you're not. You're no different than any other harlot in the world, man. But all of these things that people glorify themselves in now in this world, when all hell breaks loose, that stuff's not gonna matter, man. It's not gonna matter that you've got a BBL when all hell breaks loose, and that your glutes meet the right aesthetic look for the current standards of society. That's not gonna mean nothing. It's not gonna mean nothing that you're 6'8" and that you was a freshman in VARF, you was a freshman athlete. You know, that ain't gonna mean nothing when all hell breaks loose, man. It ain't gonna mean nothing that you've got 2 million worth of Bitcoin when all hell breaks loose. That's not gonna mean nothing. Now let me get a particular scripture in the book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus that speaks about how. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. Ecclesiasticus chapter 11 and verse 25. In the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction, and in the day of affliction, there is no more remembrance of prosperity. So when people start catching hell, they're not going to remember all the time where they was able to just go and have a nice brunch, you know, and have one of those fancy a starter menu, a 10-course starter menu, you know. Oh, they just bring out the little starters, and you just have 10 starters, and then you get your appetite fed off that. They ain't gonna remember when they was doing that. They ain't gonna remember when they was able to go to the latest crab lounge and get crabs, and the latest expensive luxury buffet where they had crab there, and you'll definitely get your money's worth because of all that crab and seafood that they got, all those abomination foods that you're not supposed to eat. But this world tells you they're glorious. You ain't gonna remember when you was doing that, right? Just like how when that lockdown came, people didn't remember all the stuff that they did before that was fun. They wanted to have fun now, and they couldn't. Verse 25 again, in the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction. And in the day of affliction, there is no more remembrance of prosperity. So people are going to forget all their good times that they've been having. And they're going to be now having to dwell in those times that they're currently in, man. Verse 27, the affliction of an hour maketh a man forget pleasure, and in the end his deed shall be discovered. The affliction of a man maketh a man forget pleasure, man. And that goes for women too. So all you women that have been living deliciously right now and have been living carefree lives, and all you men that have been living carefree lives too, right? When all hell breaks loose, we're going to see, man. Any of you guys out there that you've been hitting the gym, you think because you've got your body fat percentage down low and that you've got your muscle per pound of weight up high, right? if you really think that that's what's gonna make you get through this time, you're sadly mistaken, man. You're sadly mistaken. Because there's many mighty men in this world that fight in combat sports and they've got losses on their record. Right? Muhammad Ali, he used to talk about how pretty he was. He's bad, fast. Right? He used to say all of that. I'm bad, fast, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. When he got in that ring with Joe Frazier, he got his ass whooped, man. Right? When he got in that ring with Joe Frazier, that very first match, he got his ass whooped. And I don't want to hear no talk about he had time off and all of this. He got whooped, man. Right? He got whooped real bad. But he's a mighty man. Tyson Fury, when he just recently fought Francis Ngannou, he got whooped too. He was getting punched up all over the place, man. And did you see his eye after the fight? His eye looked like a Raspberry Ripple ice cream, man. He got smashed up, man. His face was seriously badly damaged, and Francis Ngannou's face didn't look like anything had happened to him. Didn't look like nothing happened. So he proved who was the baddest out of the two of them. But then guess what? There's somebody else out there that'll make Francis Ngannou look like an idiot too. Francis Ngannou's lost before. He's got losses on his record for how much he made Tyson Fury look weak in that fight. He's got losses on his record by guys that I know. I think the guy that beat him was a 6'2" compared to Tyson Fury, who's 6'9". I think the guy's Stipe, the guy's name was, and he's got other losses than that. Francis Ngannou has. But guess what? Stipe's got losses on his record. Right? So all of these mighty men, the real mighty men, they've got losses. They've lost fights. So how much more you everyday regular guys that think you're bad because you rush a guy 5-on-1 or something like that? When all hell breaks loose, we're gonna see, man. Everyone's gonna get the chance to see all the skills that they think they got. We're gonna see. We're gonna see, man. All the things that you think you have that can make you get through this time. We're gonna see. Amos chapter 5 and verse 18. Warn to you that desire the day of Yahweh. To what end is it for you? Because some people are desiring the day of Yahweh, not knowing really that what they're talking about is the day of Yahweh. For example, there's some people that say when shit hits the fan, when SHTF, right? When SHIT hits the fan. There's some people that are there preparing for that scenario, right? But they don't even know that day is the day of Yahweh. They're thinking it's some great society breakdown. They might have a different name for it, right? But that time that they're calling for is the day of the Lord. Like, for example, when the lockdown was coming, I was around certain people and I was hearing them talking and they were saying, I hope it does go bad, right? But these people don't believe in Yahweh. These people were heathens that I was around in work related things for that at that particular time, and then those people didn't know what the hell was coming. They didn't know what was going on, but they was trying to talk up like they wanted it to happen, but they didn't know it was gonna get like how it got though. But the day of Yahweh is gonna be even worse than that, man. And there's a lot of people that talk about the day of the Lord as if they're ready for it, but they're not ready. And the reason why they talk about it like they talk is because they think that they've got what it takes to handle that time, but they don't. Verse 18, warn to you that desire the day of Yahweh. To what end is it for you? The day of Yahweh is darkness and not light. As if a man did flee from it. And that goes for you Christians too, man, that are talking about the day of the Lord, when you don't even know what's going to happen in that time, man. You ain't going to get raptured off the earth and just be chilling, sipping mojitos and different flavored sweet cocktails while everybody else is down here dying. You're going to be there too. You're going to be on the earth too, man, seeing all of this stuff taking place as well. And the majority of you bugged out Christians, you don't believe the doctrine that the Hebrew Israelites are saying. So when that charagma comes, you're going to take it because you're going to think that that's not nothing to do with it. And you're going to be waiting on all these false terms that a guy like Vocab Malone makes up out of thin air. Messiah's heels. All these bugged out terms that he comes out with, these fake terms. Supersessionism. All of these fake things that are not real, man. That ain't got nothing to do with the Bible. Oh, this must be the seventh tribulation that's talking. Oh, this must... Nah, man. None of the stuff that you people are talking about is going to happen the way that you think, man. None of the stuff that y'all are talking about is going to happen. Not the way you think. And that's why there's a war going on right now, and none of you people said that was going to happen, man. And then you're trying to go into the book of Ezekiel 36 to try and explain it, and you can't. You're doing it wrong. And then now you've exposed your hatred and your wicked hearts. So now some of you are trying to not make no videos again until you see what happens, man, but because you don't know what's going on for real. And you played your card too soon, and you came up against what was going on because you thought that the world was backing that. But now that you've seen it, actually, a lot of people are against it. Now you're trying to go quiet all of a sudden, man. And you think we ain't seen it. And never mind us seeing it, the Lord saw it, man. The Lord saw how you people are false in the way how you're prophesying about that event, man. You're liars. Verse 19, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him. So you're going to escape one bit of danger and go and meet a next one. Here's another example, man, right? You might run from a cannibal, right, and stumble upon a biker gang and flee from them and stumble upon another group of people that are into human trafficking that want to sell your ass and have your ass chained up somewhere, and people just pay with fruit and veg or whatever trinkets they have to have a go on you for a particular time based on what they give. That's another scenario that can come out from the day of the Lord, man. As if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. All the things that people have read, all the things that you've read about in the book of Lamentations, right? These are the things that are going to be taking place when all hell breaks loose. All the things that happened to the ancient Israelites who are our ancestors, right? Those things are going to be happening again in Babylon the Great, which is America, and in all these other cities, man. Women are not going to be breastfeeding their children because they need to sustain their nutrition for their own body, right? These are all the things that you can read about in that, and I'm going to go into it in a minute. In fact, I'm going to read some of it. Shine at the day of Yahweh be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it, man, right? The day of Yahweh is going to be people catching hell on a regular basis, man. Now let's go into some of this. Lamentations chapter 1 and verse 1. How doth the city sit solitary that was full of people? And that's what's going to be happening when death gets brought to all of these cities in this world now, in this modern time. It happened to us, the Israelites in ancient Israel. When all hell breaks loose, the same thing's going to be able to get said about anywhere that you're going to be in that time, man. Because the day that's coming is worse than what happened to the Israelites. And it's actually called Jacob's trouble because Israelites are going to be catching a whole bunch of hell in that time. However, Israelites are going to be saved out of it and not going to become. Yahweh's not going to make a full end of us, but He's going to make a full end of everyone else. How doth the city sit solitary that was full of people? How is she become as a widow? How is she become as a widow? She that was great among the nations and princess among the provinces. How is she become tributary? And the same thing is going to be able to get said against Babylon the Great, which is America, and against all the Edomites when we get them in captivity. How would they become tributary to us? That's going to be the question. How is it that these people now, that once were able to go up in a store, any store, kick up a fuss, be a Karen, say, I want to speak to the manager, say, you're never going to work again, mate. You're never going to work again. Do you know who I am? I'm going to get my lawyer. Yeah, all that talk. The question is going to be, how have you went from being able to do that to where now if you even blink too many times in a day, you're going to be under scrutiny? If we even hear you breathe too loud in the kingdom, it's going to aggravate us to the point of judgment being played out, man. If we even think that you're thinking about anything bad towards us in that time, it's not going to be nice for you. Just like how you was doing us, man. And before any of you get on a high horse and say that we're wicked for saying any of this, say something to those people in the land of Israel that's saying that they're the chosen, that are bombing people. Say something to them. Say something to them about what they're doing, man. Don't say to me about nothing that I'm talking. Say something to them about what they're doing. Yeah? Because they say that they're doing that stuff to them, people in that land, because they're Edomites and they're Amalek. We're saying that we're going to do the things that we're going to do to you because of the same thing. So if we're wrong, then so are they. All right? Verse 2. She weepeth sore in the night, and her tears are on her cheeks, Among all her lovers, she have none to comfort her. And that's what's going to be said about you Edomites too, man. All the people that are your lovers right now, right, that you've been making money with, the day is going to come where ain't none of them going to help you. All her friends have dealt treacherously with her. They are become her enemies. Same thing can be said about Edomites when you read the book of Obadiah, man. Just like how it happened to us, the Israelites, that's how it's going to happen to you Edomites, man. And if you think it's a game and you think, nah, we're never going to happen that, we're never going to have that happen to us, well, let's read about it, man. Let's see if that's what the Bible says. Jeremiah chapter 49, and let me jump to verse 7 first. Concerning Edom, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Now let me jump down to verse 12. For thus saith Yahweh, behold, those whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. No one can say that we ain't caught hell, man. That the Negro, that the Latino, that the Native American has not caught absolute hell. No one can say that. That we ain't been butchered, battered, bruised, mocked, scrutinized, not given the benefit of the doubt ever. First hired, first fired, falsely accused, castrated, book broken. Had the women of our nation been given mental, made absolute batshit crazy, right? Our women of our nation are fat as hell, out of shape, stinky weaves, right? All of this is by creation and by design, man. All of these things have been done to us, man. And no one gave a damn when it happened. So when we're hearing about things that happen with you people, we don't care neither. Yeah, I don't care. I ain't picking a side. To hell with both. Yeah, you didn't pick a side. You didn't care when we was going through things. So why should we care when you're going through it, man? We don't care neither. It's none of our business. Yeah. Like y'all always said to us, if you don't get your own communities right, how do you expect us to help your community? Well, same thing to you then. If you ain't helping your community out, why do you expect us to help? I'm not helping neither, man. I ain't helping. When we see you heathens go through things, don't stop me if I'm trying to buy some supplements in the store and ask me if I want to give any money towards a charity. Nah, I don't want to. No, thanks. I think I'll use that for me and mine, thanks, actually, as it goes. I don't want to give no money to none of your stinky ass charities for that, man. Leave us out of that. Just like how you never cared about anything to do with us. Verse 12, for thus saith the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup, have assuredly drunken out. Thou, he that shalt altogether go unpunished, thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. So you're gonna have to. It don't matter whether you're saying, nah, I'm not gonna. If you're saying in your own heart, nah, I don't think I'm. It's like when you see those videos of people getting arrested, yeah, and they've got the handcuffs on them and they said, no, you're not gonna arrest me. No, you've already been arrested. Then they'll say, no, you're not putting him in the car. No, you are going in the car. You are. Then they'll say, I'm not getting out the car. No, you are getting out the car. You are. You are getting out the car. And as you watch those videos, you see everything take place. The person first says they're not getting arrested. Then they get put in the handcuffs. Then they say they're not getting in the car. Then they get put in the car. Then they say they're not getting out the car when they get to the station. And they get out the car. And they get put into the station. Then they say they're not getting out of this, they're not going into the jail cell in the station, and they get put in there too. Then when they're still acting up, they might say, I'm not getting put in that resistance chair, and they get put in that resistance chair. Then they might say, but you're not putting the spit guard on me though, and that gets put on them too. So Esau's saying in his mind, I'm not going into slavery. You're not going to get revenge for what happened to your ancestors. I'm not going. But guess what? He is going to be going. And he's going to find himself on a ship, traveling to captivity. And he might say, I'm not, but okay, I'm on the ship though, but I'm not getting off the ship. But they are going to be getting off the ship. Just like how when we was going through it, we was probably thinking, man, I'm going to dive off the boat then. I'm going to dive off the boat and I'm going to let the sharks get me. Instead of going into captivity by your hand, I'm going to dive into the water and get ate by sharks. And they dived off. And they went into the water and they got ate by sharks or they drowned to death. They did. But they came back again through reincarnation, and they still went. They still went into slavery. Anyway, you're gonna surely drink of it, man. Verse 13, for I've sworn by myself, saith Yahweh, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste. All of Esau's cities are going to be destroyed, man. Everything that Esau knows about himself, all his memories of wherever he's been, is going to get destroyed, man. People ain't going to remember any of the glory of Esau. That's going to get phased out of the world, man. And when that first generation of Edomites that made it, right, that ended up being the first batch of slaves, they're going to still remember. They're going to be catching a whole lot of hell. But then that next batch, it's going to slowly fade out of their mind. Then the next batch, the next generation after that, is going to be fading out of their minds. And by the fourth or fifth generation, it's going to be gone. They ain't going to be able to know they ain't going to believe it, even if they hear anything. Right, oh, we used to rule. They were like, yeah, right, man. Look at us. We used to rule. I can barely make these grunting noises. And you're saying we used to rule. They ain't going to believe that. They're going to be like, yeah, we used to have these things called ICBMs, and these Israelites that are flying around, they was bowing down to us, man. We used to give them dodgy record deals. They'd be like, these people. Now, I don't believe that, Grand. They ain't going to be trying to hear that. They're going to be too busy breaking down rocks, digging in mines, working for us, man. They're going to have a lot of work on their hands, man, to be worrying about any of that. Like, there's so much judgment that's coming to you, scumbags, right? That y'all ain't prepared for it, man. And even among the Israelites, we're gonna get a lot of judgment too. And the thoughts and the voice of this word of these things being spoken is scary to you heathens, and that's why you're gonna do a lot of madness to try and stop it from happening. But you're still not gonna stop it, though. You're still not gonna stop it, man. And all the things that people think that they've got that mean something is not gonna matter when all hell breaks loose. Let me get this. 2 Ezra chapter 16 and verse 39. Even so shall the plagues, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon every side. O my people, hear my word, make you ready to thy battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth, and the pilgrim moves from one place to another. They don't try and do what they did in Titanic and start banging out the violin and saying, I'm gonna fall down with the ship. If you've got a nice house somewhere and all hell's breaking loose and you realize that you have to move away from that house, move away from the house. Don't be a buffoon and say, you know what, I've been paying money to this house for a long time, I ain't leaving. Don't start acting arrogant saying they're gonna have to kill me. They will. They will, that's the thing. Verse 41, I mean. He that selleth, let him be as he that shall fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. He that occupieth merchandise as he that have no profit by it, and he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein. So all the stuff that people care about now, when all hell breaks loose, that ain't gonna mean nothing no more. He that soweth as he that shall not reap, so also he that planteth the vineyard as he that shall not gather the grapes. They that marry as they that shall not get children, and they that marry not as the widowers. And therefore they that labor in vain. So all the things that people have right now, it means something now, right? If you're a so-called high value man right now, it means something now. You can get the best batch of women, man. You can get the women with the fattest, roundest, the prettiest, the least stinky ones. You know what I mean? You can get the best of the best, or the best of the worst. You can get the best access to all of the finest women, right? With the least amount of effort, you can do that, and that means something now. But when all hell breaks loose, you saying that you've been able to get 1,000 women in your lifetime, that ain't gonna mean nothing when people are running up trying to rob food, and where your salvation is based on how you've been acting towards Yahweh Bar Sham Yahweh Shai. And when you're still talking about that you're not sure of what the Lord's name is in Hebrew, so you've been saying Yah instead. So you know that you don't know if it's necessarily Yahweh. You don't know whether it's the J one, the JESUS, but you don't know if it's the all the other the fake Hebrew names that they be using and all that, right? So you just say, oh, I've been praying to Yah because I ain't too sure, but I think Yah is close enough. I know that Yah is probably the sound anyway. So I'm going to say I'm going to pray to Yah. Nah, fam. You need to be certain in the name that you believe in. You ain't going to be able to just say, oh, the Lord knows my heart, so whichever name I say, it don't matter. Nah. Because that would mean that if you call upon another God's name, but you say you're praying to the God of the Bible, that don't matter. But it does matter. Because the Bible speaks against calling upon other gods. Verse 46, for strangers shall reap their fruits and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses and take their children captives. For in captivity and famine shall they get children. And they that occupy their merchandise with robbery, the more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons, the more will I be angry with them for their sin. So if you have so, the more you people have been being wicked and scoffing against the Israelites, and then it seems like you're winning more and more, right? You saw a video where the Hebrew Israelites was rebuking you, but since then you've been getting more and more money. Well, Yahweh's getting more angry with you, but people don't understand the Lord. You think that if you're flowing in wealth, that means that you're loved. But who the Lord loveth, he chastens and rebukes, man. He chastens and rebukes. Verse 49, like as a whore envious a righteous and honest virtuous woman, like as a whore envieth a right, honest, and virtuous woman, so shall righteousness hate iniquity when she decketh herself, and shall accuse her to her face. When he cometh, that shall defend him that diligently searcheth out every sin upon the earth. So when Yahweh Shai gets here, and you people have thought he was thrown in wealth, righteousness is going to accuse you to your face, man. And what are you people going to do in that time? Are any of you men that think you're of stature going to seem of stature before the Lord? And are any of you men that might have stature right now, and you're big and burly and all of that, you're bad, you can handle a fight with 10 men, right? But when all hell breaks loose, those 10 men, because they know this, in order for them to feel safe, they might all team up just to take you out. They might say, you know what? They might try and treat you like how these nations treat Russia. Okay, we know Russia's bad, right, by itself. And one-on-one, they can defeat any of us. So we're going to make a covenant to come up against them. That's how people are going to treat men. It's going to be a lot of things that's going to take place in this time, man. Now, let me go back to the book of Lamentations, because there's certain things that I wanted to read in there to show people that when these things happen, man, women are going to know that it's not a time for no games, man. Let me see if I can find that one. Let me see if I can find that particular one, man. There's a scripture that talks about how the women. Here we go. Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 4. The tongue of the suckling child cleaveth to the roof of his mouth for thirst. The young children ask bread, and no man breaketh it unto them. And that happened in ancient Israel when the Babylonians, right, besieged Israel. They built, like, they basically stopped them from being able to come in or come out, man. Right? They surrounded them and starved them out for, I believe it was like a year and a half, right? And these are the things that was happening in there. But when all hell breaks loose in this society, in the time to come in the day of the Lord, it's going to be worse. So children's tongues are going to be cleaving to the roof of their mouth for first, right? The young children are going to ask bread, and no man's going to break it unto them. There's going to be a little child that can't feed himself, that can't sustain himself, right? Don't even know how to use a toilet for themselves properly, right? That they're not going to be getting food given to them because the adults are going to be keeping the food for themselves. They're going to be in survival mode, man. When people get in survival mode, all that men, women, and children stuff goes out the window, man. That men, women, and children stuff, even though it's still somewhat active in war, when it really gets bad, right, people's personal survival matters the most. And all that women and children stuff goes straight down the pan. And no, men don't no longer care that a woman's got a vagina or that a little kid hasn't reached puberty. Their belly's grumbling. So they're going to eat. And if that ain't their child, then you'll be lucky if you get even a taste of that bread in that time. And if you ain't that man's woman, you'll be lucky if you get anything. You'll be lucky. You'll be lucky, man. But women have not yet experienced that because they're used to men simping. But when all hell breaks loose, there ain't going to be no such thing as a simp anymore, man. The women are going to become the simps. And if you don't believe me, read Isaiah 4:1. The women are going to be simping in that time, man. They're not going to care about their own bread. They're not going to care about bread. They're going to wear their own apparel. Only let them be called by your name, man. Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 10. The hands of the pitiful woman have sodden their own children. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people. So when the ancient Israelites, who are us, were in that land and we got taken down by the Babylonians, the women was eating their children, man. Some of the women that are the best parents right now, right? They help their kid with all their homework. They take their kid to all the classes, you know. They're into all the things that their teachers are into. They want to know all the things that their kids are learning at school. They're into it, man. They're in the mix of things, right? They're doing bake-offs and all that, going to bakery classes, giving their kids little after-school classes and all of these things, losing out on sleep to do all this stuff with their children. When all hell breaks loose, all that good parenting stuff's gonna go down out the window as well, man. They're gonna eat that child, man. They might become cannibals in that time. Now, this kind of stuff's hard for people's ears, but what some of you people that are complaining about will complain about this. I bet some of you clowns had Halloween stuff up in your house though. Had skeletons hanging out your house. Had spider webs with fake spiders hanging off your house. So if you're scared of things, be scared of. Why aren't you scared of that then? You like horror, right? All you people went Halloween parties, right? So here's some more fear for you then. Here's some more things for you to be scared of, right? Since you like fear so much. Verse 10 again. The hands of the pitiful women have sodden their own children. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people. They was eating their children, man. In ancient Israel, they were eating them, right? They ate their own children, man. And don't say that stuff can't happen in the time to come, because it can. It can. They've already put out things in the air asking people if they would be cannibals. And the results are shocking. People would do it. People would do it, man. And I think I'm gonna end this video there, man. But I just wanted to go into how a lot of things that people think matter right now, man. A lot of things that people think matter right now do not matter. Right? They don't matter, man. People in their arrogance, they think that they've got it all together. And they're gonna find out that they don't, man. I'm gonna end the video there. Shalom to the nation of Israel. Shalom.